This is Bannerlord. It's a sandbox RPG set in medieval times. It has kings, castles, and massive 1,000 men battles. You can storm castles with your armies, or defend them from inside the keep. You can become a merchant or a warlord. The choice is yours. The main aim of the game is to build and grow your clan until you become a kingdom. And today, that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do. This is an idiot's beginner's guide to Bannerlord in 2024. First, we'll start at the main menu. Here there are two main options, campaign and sandbox. They're both similar but have distinct differences. In the campaign, you follow a main storyline completing quests, which then leaves you deciding who to join, the Empire or the fight against the Empire. You're also given a family consisting of an older brother, a younger brother, and a younger sister. This family helps a lot in your playthrough, as you can assign each family member to a specific role, like a caravan leader or a party leader. Whereas in Sandbox you get no main story quest and no family. I would highly recommend playing the campaign mode if it's your first playthrough. Once you have decided on a game mode to play, you get to choose a culture. Each culture has different benefits and cons. For example, Botania gains a 50% speed reduction penalty when travelling through forests, which is actually a really good trait. Then they also get +1 militia in towns, which is pretty decent as the militia help defend your towns from sieges. But then they also have a 10% slower build rate of projects in towns and castles, which is bad because building projects in your fiefs is what makes them better. Each culture offers different things. The best thing to do is plan out what your playthrough will look like and decide on a culture from that. If you just want to pick one and forget about it, I'd recommend Botania. Also, depending on which game mode you choose, your starting location will be different. In a campaign, you will always start in the same place. In the sandbox, you will start in the culture you chose. After you've picked a culture, it's time to create your character. You can design your character however you want. Bannerlord actually has decent customization options. After you've designed your character, you get to choose the kind of background of your character. All of the choices give different things. This is where you would start to plan out what your character is going to be focusing on. Attribute points are the most valuable. These are the ones that go down the left side of your perks. These make each category on that row have a higher max level. So, if I put an attribute point into endurance, it would increase the max level of riding, athletics, and smithing. Attribute points don't come too often. I think it's 1 every 4 levels, so use them wisely. The maximum attribute points you can have in one category is 10, but I'd say 8 will get you far enough. Focus points are the other type of perk points that go into skill directly. So for instance, I can put focus points into smithing, endurance, and athletics. Each skill has a maximum of 5 focus point slots. Focus points make the skill level up faster and also increase the max level of the skill by a little amount. Focus points are definitely more obtainable. You get 1 every level. So if you want to become a merchant, choose the options that give you attribute points into social. If you want to be good at fighting, put the attribute points into vigor, control, and endurance. Definitely focus on where the attribute points are going for these choices as they are the most valuable. In sandbox mode, you will also be given the option of choosing which age to start at. You can die of old age in Bannerlord, so be careful with this option. But basically, the older you start, the more attribute and focus points you'll get. So, once you've created your character and chosen their background, you'll spawn into the game. You can apply any points you have and start to plan out your character build from there. Have a look through all of the skill trees and see which perks you want to invest into. If you open up your clan menu down here in the bottom left, you'll see these roles: Scout, Quartermaster, Medic, and Engineer. These roles all have a corresponding skill. The higher skill that is, the better you'll be in that role. For Quartermaster, it would be the Steward skill. For Scout, it would be Scouting. Medic is Medicine, and Engineer is Engineering. Now, you won't be able to be good at all 4 of these roles in every playthrough, so that's where hiring comes into play. All around the map you can find companions inside taverns. When you speak to the companions and click on their name, it will show you what skills they are good at. So, just look for the specific skill you need to fill and hire that companion. You could also use your family members from the campaign mode to fill in the gaps, or you could marry someone and have children who you can then shape and mould into whatever role you need. There are other roles in Bannerlord too. Captains are commanders of your troops. They should have good fighting skills. This will give your troops huge bonuses like extra damage or even extra movement speed. A captain is applied whilst inside of a battle, like this. There are also caravan and party leaders. Caravan leaders should have good riding, scouting and trade. Party leaders should have good riding, scouting and steward. Who you use for these roles is up to you, but just make sure they have the skills required and you'll be fine. In Bannerlord, all the information you need is inside of the game's encyclopedia. If you open it up, you can see settlements, heroes, troops, kingdoms, clans and concepts. The ones I use the most are heroes and troops. Heroes will allow you to locate and track certain people you need to find. For example, if you want to join the Kingdom of Britannia, it would be best to find the king and speak to him. So, just click on Caladog and it will tell you which town he was last seen at. These people do wander about, so by the time you get there, they might be in a different place. But just open the encyclopedia again and it will show you the new location. Troops will let you see the troop trees of different cultures. Each culture has different troops, so make sure you take a look at the troops for each one and decide what troops you want in your army. In Bannerlord, clan tier is very important. Each level gives you more benefits and you won't be able to start your own kingdom until clan tier 4. To level up your clan tier, you need renown. Renown is gained from winning fights, winning tournaments, completing quests. Basically nearly everything gives you renown. There's also perks that boost your renown, like the level 25 charm perk. I like to use this perk in the trade tree that gives me 1 renown a day from every profiting caravan. I then put all the women in my clan in charge of caravans, and this boosts my renown significantly. When moving around the map, you want to be as fast as possible. To do this, you'll need horses. The horses you need will be the ones that have this symbol when hovering over them. You will need 1 horse per 1 foot soldier to have the maximum movement speed. You will also want the maximum carry weight, right? Well, the horses you should use for the carry weight are the sumpter horses. I usually have half my army worth of sumpter horses in my inventory. Sumpter horses don't count towards your movement speed, and if you have too many horses in your party, you'll get the herding penalty shown here, which decreases your movement speed. Now, combat. In Bannerlord, you'll be the commander of your army in battle. You can split up your army into different groups. The game automatically does this for you with different troop types like archers, footmen and melee cavalry. You can put captains in charge of these groups like I showed you before to increase the effectiveness of your troops. So let's say you have a companion that's really good at riding and like polearms, then you can put him in charge of the melee cavalry and they'll get a huge boost from him being their captain. Once you're in the battle, you use the command menu to put your troops into different formations. Use shield wall and line for your infantry, use loose for your archers, and when the enemy is fleeing like cowards, use charge to finish them off. There are many things you can do with formations, so learn them and use them to your advantage. The last thing I'm going to cover is money. In Bannerlord, the currency is called dinars. There are numerous ways to earn dinars in Bannerlord, but also a lot of ways to lose it. The best way, in my opinion, to make money in Bannerlord is through smithing. I have a whole guide on my channel about smithing, so check it out if you need to. But you can also earn money through fighting, trading, and owning fiefs, to name a few. Expenses can also rise as you play through Bannerlord, so take note of what your money is being spent on. Party wages for your troops in your party will increase with more troops, but also when you level up your troops. Garrison wages are always high when you have a fief with a huge garrison inside. I'd recommend clearing out your garrison when you're not at war with anyone. Also, paying for peace when at war with other kingdoms can drain your bank account. All in all, Bannerlord is one of a kind game. You won't find another game like it. It has so much replay value as each playthrough can be totally different from the last. It all depends on the player. So, download it, jump in. There's a link in my description where you can get Bannerlord with a huge discount. Most of all, have fun. And if you need any more help with all of the aspects of Bannerlord, then check out the videos on my channel.